People be lying. I'm telling you, people be lying. People be saying they don't like hoes and don't like that pussy talk. People love it. People love it. They love it because I know a lot of female rappers. They be talking about, you know, the community and the unity, and they're very woke. And it's just like, there are really good rappers, but it's like, y'all don't be streaming them. And then y'all be complaining because y'all want us to rap about those type of stuff. And it's like, okay, but there is a rapper for that. There's different rappers that rap about those things that y'all want to hear. There are conscious rappers. But y'all not going to them. So you can't be mad. You can't be mad because you fake like talking about pussy.
So I want to address that real quick because I think that we can learn from this conversation. If you want to know why I speak on, you know, Cardi B and what's going on in hip hop, it's because it's influential. You can't, you know, ignore it. You can't ignore one of the greatest influences on Black thought that exists in society, and how this powerful tool of persuasion has been manipulated to persuade us in the wrong direction. So Cardi B made a great point in that video. She said, you know, there are positive artists out there, but y'all don't stream the positive artists the way you stream me. And so you just lying. You know, you really, you love the pussy talk. You love the whatever talk. Now, here's what I think Cardi B should understand. If you go to a child and you want, and you know the child is going to be better off eating healthy food, and you also offer the child ice cream, which one do you think the child's going to eat? It's going to be ice cream, right? So if you tell the child, look, hey, every day for dinner, you can have ice cream and chocolate cake and cookies for dinner. Of course, he's going to want ice cream, chocolate cake, and cookies for dinner. But the downside of that is he's eventually going to get diabetes, obesity, heart disease. He's going to have a lot of problems that comes from always doing what you want as opposed to giving yourself what you need. And so with hip hop, the problem with hip hop, one of the biggest issues is that corporate America, white corporate America, because they're so caught up, they're the same people who will sell you sugary donuts in the front of the grocery store and then sell you diabetes medication in the back, because they profit from creating a problem and then pretending to help you solve it. Well, the same thing is true with music. You know, there are people that love to promote the very worst, you know, the worst temptations, the worst lines of thought, the very worst dysfunction of the Black community, to take advantage of your dysfunction, almost like a drug addict, because you're addicted to your dysfunction, and they'll feed you like a drug addict, the same way a dope dealer will feed crack to a crackhead, and then they'll make money on the other end pretending to help you solve those problems. You know, they'll put the Black Lives Matter sign up and say, we want Black people to be safe and healthy, but you're filling up the prisons with little boys that have grown up on your music that really don't care about Black life. You know, you filled up the whorehouses with little girls who could have been scientists and doctors and lawyers, but instead they grew up worshiping strippers. If CBS or NBC wanted to make it the maximum amount of money, why don't they just put porn on NBC all day long? Because they could probably get the viewership up. Well, they don't do it because there's an understanding that there should be a difference between what you want and what you need, and you don't just take in what you want all the time. So Cardi's right that people like the vagina. Like, that's why we exist. We exist because somebody had sex. Everybody gets that. But when when the vagina is the first and the last thing that you're talking about and rapping about every day, what happens is you're feeding into a very dark side of who we are as people. You're feeding into sex addictions. You're feeding into debaucherous, unhealthy behavior. You're feeding into the fact that Black youth, young Black girls, have one of the highest STD rates of any group of people in America. And so really the question becomes, at what point do you have the responsibility to say, yeah, I can keep giving you more of what you want, and I can keep pushing you toward your dysfunction, or I can love you enough to not always do that, to not always push that. And it's not so much just Cardi B's job, though. Let's be clear. Apple Music is the corporation, or among many, that decides to elevate the Cardi B above the healthiest stuff, because Cardi B is profitable for the same reasons that selling sex is profitable, for the same reasons that you can always sell more ice cream than you can ever sell health food. So if all we did as a society was sold ice cream and unhealthy food and junk food and fast food, then healthy food wouldn't sell the way that it should. So, and really, if you look at the most hoods in America, there are people that profit from feeding black dysfunction. That's why Popeye's Chickens and all these other fast food restaurants will get popped up in every hood in America, and they don't make health food available to you because we are addicted to the unhealthy food, and it's easier to make money by feeding the addict what they want as opposed to caring enough to give the addict what they need. So black people are addicted to dysfunction. You know, our society is addicted to a lot of the things that are not healthy and good for us. And so the question is, do you feed the addiction, or do you do the right thing and help make people better? But then again, it's not Cardi B's job to do it, because all Cardi B knows is her life, and all she knows is who she is. The question is, with corporations, who are you choosing to promote? What are you choosing to sell? Are you choosing to sell that which is most profitable? Are you choosing to engage in the maximum exploitation of the black community that you possibly can? Or do you stop for a minute and say, you know, there has to be a boundary? Oh, then, okay, so you tell a woman to bring all these men through her house. Some of these men are going to rape her children, you know, because if the mama's selling the vagina every day, then the man's going to eventually think that the baby's vagina is for sale too. You know, that happens in households all across this country. You're feeding into extreme mental illness. You're feeding into extreme devastation. You're feeding into a lot of unhappiness. You're feeding into suicide of young black girls. You're feeding into abuse. You're feeding into all the things, all the trauma that affects black people, because black people are the easiest people in the world to exploit, because half of us are fucking crazy, and we know that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A bunch of our community, they need therapy. They need help. They don't need more music encouraging them to become as unhealthy as possible. And that's what they're doing. Because pay attention, I'm going to ask you this question. Tell me, who's the white version of Cardi B? Like, is there any white person anywhere who is as famous as Cardi B, who does what Cardi B does? I'm talking about, you can talk about like a Miley Cyrus, but Miley Cyrus ain't popping like Cardi B. There is no white Cardi B, right? There is no white version of the Migos. See, that fucked up shit, that ridiculous, debaucherous music or whatever the fuck. I mean, I'm not hating on all of it. She's very talented. She's a great rapper. It's easy to see. Anybody can see that. But that horrible stuff, that's specifically a role for black people. That's specifically a role for black and brown people. They don't put white people in that position, because I don't think white America would go for that. I don't think they would go for a white version of Cardi B who was just as famous as Cardi. I just don't think they would. Even the Kardashians, as raunchy as they are, they're not doing exactly what Cardi's doing. I'm not going to disagree with what Cardi said. I mean, Cardi said she's 100% correct, but if you do level 1 analysis, that's all you're going to see. You got to go to level 2, level 3, level 4. Play chess, not checkers, because you're black, and they're always trying to exploit you. They're always trying to trick you. They're always trying to harm you. So you got to always use your head. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Hit the thumbs up button. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.